Hello friends. Uh, the last tutorial we have covered the basics of starting of the e-commerce, in which we have created the home page, product and cart routing, and inside the home page we have used the mock data to bind the best seller products on this home page. So you can see we have the best products sorted out from the whole mock data, and now our aim is to bind all the products here on the product listing page, and then after we will go for cart. Okay, so on the products page, so before going on the products page, let you know some use of the memo. So you have familiar with the word memo, which is used with the functional component to make it not reloadable if any of the props is changed. Okay, to increase the performance, we do the same. We use the memo. So what we will do, like in the header, this header is a functional component. So what we will do, we will convert this header into memo, so that its DOM, means its virtual DOM, will not reload until and unless any props inside this component changes. Okay, so what we will do, we will just constant header. Okay, and then here we will export default and any memo. I will use the memo, and then we will pass the header. Okay, so by doing this, your header will not be reloaded again and again until and unless any props inside this one goes to changes. Okay, so this increases your website's performance. Okay, so let's move to the product page. Check by default here, so go to the home. It's working properly. Okay, with the help of memo as well. Okay, now our aim is to go for product page. So last day we have created the mock data, and we have created the pages like this, and we have a common product item, single item. Okay, so now we will go for the products page, and here we will create the a row first using the bootstrap row. Okay, and your class name equal to row. I think we need a container as first. We will need a container. Then we create a row. This row will be for buttons for the categories. Okay, so we will create this for columns. All empty. Let's suppose one. And inside this we will have button, and we will have on click event. So we have on click. So we will create the method later. Okay, and we'll close the button, and we will name it like first all. Okay, and similarly we will create another button, but before going to create a button, we will create a state to store all the ID of the category when a button of the category is clicked. So we will have constant. Let's suppose we have a variable dot category, and another is set category to set, and we will use the use state hook, function hook. Okay, and then we will pass the initial value, initial value is empty. Okay, and another we will create a method called set cat id. Okay, and we will just pass the id here, and id will be of type, let's suppose any right now, and we will set this id inside the category using the set category. Okay, and we will pass this category on the button click so that we can pass the id. So for all cases, means if the button all is clicked, all the products will be shown, so there is no any id. But for another cases, we should have id. Okay, so let's suppose we have clothing, we have bags, we have shoes, and one more we have accessories. So we have data for each category. Okay, so clothing id is 01. We have to check in the mock data what are the IDs. So, so you can see clothing is 1. Next after clothing we have shoes 2 and bags 3. Okay, then shoes 2, bags 3 and accessories 4. So we have the ID with us. Okay, so let's check on the UI first what is in the products. So you can see we have the buttons, all clothes, bags, shoes and accessories here. Okay, so you can give bootstrap CSS to the button as well, so it looks better. Okay, on the button you can and okay, now it look good. Now our aim is to bind all the products. So what we will do, first we will go for the earlier page, home page, where we have binded the data. So what we will do, we will just copy this one, this row, and paste in the products with another row. So we have one row for filter and another row for data. Okay, and now we have data. So we will copy the data from there. Okay, see, we have data and we should have to import item as well. So we have the item in separate common folder. So we will copy from them. Okay, so you will see that in the products page, all data has been binded. Okay, so what we have to do, it's similar to the home right now, but we will change the filter accordingly. So we will just delete this one from here. We don't need right now here. Okay, what we will do, we will filter the data here only. Okay, based on the category. So inside the category we will have the category. So what we will do, x implies is at equal to 50. Okay, if the category is empty, this will do this. Okay. If the category is empty, return X. Okay. Otherwise, if the category is not empty, then X dot what is the ID? Cat ID equal to cat. So you can check on the UI. Okay. So you can see in default case we have all the products because we have selected all. Okay. Now we go for the clothing. We should have clothing, but let us check why it's not working. Okay. The default case is working. Else condition is not working because it have to check. Else, okay. So we have to return here. We have missed the return. That's why it's not working. So go for that. So you can see accessories, shoes. We have shoes only. We have bags, bags only. We have clothing, clothing only. And in all, we have all products. So you see that we have filters there according to the category. Okay, and the data is going to filter accordingly. So our second page product listing is completed. Okay, now what you can do, you just give it to so that a small size will be there. Okay, you can say the small products which is there. Okay, so next step is to create the cart. But before going to the cart, you should have Redux in your website. So first of all, we will implement Redux so that if you click on any add to cart and it will redirect to you on the sorry, it will store your ID means product ID in the cart or the whole product in the cart with the quantity as well. So first aim is to create Redux part. Okay, so to implement Redux we need dependencies. So we will have to install them. So we will use the Redux and another one, yes, Redux. Okay, so we have both one. Now we will have to create our store. Okay, so in the root we will just create our store for the Redux central store. Yes, sir. Okay, in this store we will have a switch reducer. We'll create a reducer here. So constant. Let's suppose cart. Cart is my reducer name. Okay, and we will have switch case inside, and we will get the state, initial state. So we will define it right now empty array. Okay, and we will have action here. Okay, so if the action of type, so case add to cart. So if the action name is add to cart, so return state. We will have to return the new state. Okay, so return state So add to cart, we have to insert into the array. Okay. So what you will have to do, you will have to get array equal to state. We will take the state out and without push whatever the data you are passing, show action dot load will be your data, and now you will have to return with new state is equal to okay. So if we have the add to cart, then we have taken out the state in a variable and we have to push the data in that array, new data, and return that state into. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to create the store. So for that we will need create store, and we will pass the reducer cart. Okay. So we have to create store using this reducer. Okay. Okay, so in this tutorial we have learned this one up to integrating the cart, up to adding the products listing page and filtering the data on the behalf of clothing, bags, shoes and accessories. So in the next video we will continue with this Redux part. Okay, so basically we need Redux to store the cart status, like if you add product ID or product details inside this array of the cart, so that it will save your details of the cart, and whenever you need you can use this data. Okay, so in the summary what we have done today, in the products page we have created a filter on the behalf of data. So we have the mock data, and to filter on the mock data we have created a filter, and we have created the state category, so that if any button of the filter like clothing, bags and shoes will be clicked, it will set the ID inside this category, and we will use this category to filter the data. Okay, so if the category is blank in all case, then return simply whatever the X, and if there is data in category, then it will compare and return true false accordingly. Okay. Okay, and we have just implemented the store. We have created the store, and with one switch case called this one. So now in next video we will create the actions. Okay, for this dispatchable actions we will create, and we will implement that to our function component. Okay, so in this video we have this much. Okay, thanks.